access to an archive should be like access to a cinema or access to an ice cream shop. Archives are pleasure domes. They're places where you go to have fun and discover and explore.
So the idea that an archive is there for us, it's always like to remember your dreams, you know? I think that's what it's about. It's remembering Scotland's dreams.
It's so vital, and especially for us, because we have such a rich and fecund history, you know.
To me, it's the most exciting venture. And I can't imagine the better use of the Kelvin Hall, except the circus, which it was very good at. Had a great smell.
The move to the Kelvin Hall is going to be phenomenal for the archive because we'll be moving out of an industrial estate out near the airport to the city centre and the West End. We're going to have a new access centre where people will be able to drop in and watch moving images. Kelvin Hall gives us this brilliant capacity to work with our colleagues more and to have a National Library presence in Glasgow as well. So we'll have the moving image archive there, but they'll also be able to access digital content from the paper collections as well. I think it's an investment in people's history because this new facility allows us to bring out those collections for people to see. The collections are all about the people of Scotland.
I cannot see it being anything other than incredibly popular. I mean, people are longing for their past, and we now live in a world where we take pictures at every second of the day. We're deeply fascinated with the pictures and moving images that were made 50, 100 years ago.
Time to time, when I have a rare idle moment, I like to go back in and look at things, particularly of Glasgow, and particularly of the past that I can remember. Very, very surprisingly moving for me because I discovered things that I'd actually forgotten and would never have remembered had the film not been right there in front of me. And I found myself sitting in the dark with a little tear in my eye. It's just remembering people that had long gone, which is something that we do.
My family on my mother's side were one of the earliest tomato growers in the Clyde Valley, and they had vast tomato houses, which I remember as a child. A lot of these have disappeared now, and I was making a programme about cooking. The researcher found footage of the tomato houses in the archive.
This new archive has so much of life to show us, and I'm just really excited about the possibility of what I could. I can't wait, actually. There's so many things that I would like to go and have a look at.
From the 1920s onwards, my grandfather was shooting not only amateur fictional films of him and his friends, but also documenting the things he saw around about and the events and day-to-day life. And what he left behind was not only a very personal record for the family, but an archive of events that would otherwise have disappeared into history. I can't think of any other way other than collecting amateur films like that and preserving them in the archive, any other way that they could be preserved for not only our generation, future generations.
From an actor's point of view, it's references. It's a very necessary resource. You know, you see people behaving in certain situations and you forget about how, you know, because one is getting on, I'm aware of things when I was a child that don't happen now, just simply the way they do things.
One of the best projects I've worked on over the years was the co-production on From Scotland with Love.
We really wanted to really delve into the archive and try and find stuff that perhaps hadn't been used so commonly in films before, because I mean obviously every film that's made about Scotland that has a historical element uses archive.
So who cares if nothing comes out of this morning but an ocean of sea and an ocean of sun and a deck chair all but broken when Sunday upon each of us is backwards coming forwards. Silence for me while you're keeping stum. My mind still as blank as that postcard you've barely begun. So would you look at this
film is an extraordinary thing. I'm not sure I really understand it. I don't understand. You know, it's a curious artifact. I just know that, like everything else, it's fragile. The images are fragile. People's record of things. You know, a lot of people have thrown away their Super 8 and their 8mm stuff that they had on their old cameras in the 50s and 60s and 70s. A lot of people threw away their old audio tape and their cassette tapes, and then people started to throw away their VHSs of stuff they'd filmed. Because they didn't see it as being valuable, because they saw it as being ephemeral. And I think that what you want to do is to capture the ephemeral.
The moving image archive is culturally hugely important. Historically, immediate, but most importantly for me, it's an emotional connection with the past. And I think that we should all feel that. And if the archive helps us feel that, that'll be a wonderful thing.
Once this material is safe and catalogued and made available, voila, our children and our children's children can watch it and enjoy it. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer why it has to be done well and why it has to be paid for properly.
It's Scottish. It's the moving image. It's about a culture and a country. It's available to everyone. It's free. Hard cash, credit cards, checks, postal orders, luncheon vouchers. Do they do luncheon vouchers anymore? Don't know if they do. But you know, you get my drift.